Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. I want to set the record straight. I need to clear the air. Let's get started and talk about it. This is going to be a bonus video. I'm hoping this will address some questions from a bunch of comments that I've received over the last several months. Let's get right into it. And that's if these folks that wrote a comment will watch this video. Okay, I've gotten several comments about certain topics that I want to address and try to explain. Okay, the first is car. I've done a video recently about, hey, this may be the last car we own, and it's because of the cost of the car and the insurance and everything else and traffic, a bunch of things. And I got lots of comments, but a lot of the comments that I received are things like, why would you buy a Ford? Why would you, spend $30,000 on a used car? I can get a used car for $10,000. This is where I do want to clear the air. And a lot of people said, why didn't you buy a Toyota? I think many of the folks that watch the video don't realize that the last two vehicles we owned were Toyotas. We loved them. What happened was in 2022, for those of you that have been with me a while, our family was in a really bad car accident. Don't need to go into detail on that, but car got totaled. So we had a rental car for a while, and we needed to go get a new to us car. And this is a gently used vehicle. So we started looking around, and this is in 2022. Because of the pandemic, production had been down a while, and let me just tell you, there were not that many cars to be found. We went to purchase a vehicle at one of the worst times ever. Think about this, supply and demand. Let's say that you want to buy a car, and right now the economy's not doing great, but there's so many cars out there that aren't selling. They're going to hopefully lower the price because they want to sell the cars. But if they don't have that many cars, and there's not that many, and it's taking a while to build and make them, and production is slow, they're going to raise the price of the car. And there's also a wait when you order vehicles, which means that there weren't that many cars to be found. We went to a couple different Toyota dealerships and contacted all in the Metroplex. There was not one used car, and there was not one new car. And if we wanted to order one, it could have taken several months. One person said, we think we can get you one in 3 weeks. But you know what? There were no deals to be had. I used to haggle when buying a car. The haggling went out the window during this time. We went to a Ford dealership where my friend works, and they were great out there. They gave us wonderful customer service. They had two vehicles available. We bought a 2019, had barely any miles on it, Ford Fusion. It's been a fantastic car. I do think this car is going to last us a while, and let me tell you why. I have a friend of mine that had a Ford Fusion that it had over 300,000 miles on it, and she drives all over the place. She now has a newer Ford Fusion. Now, with that, we don't drive near as many miles as we used to, and we try to just drive really close to the house. So because we're not driving that much like we used to, I think this vehicle is going to be with us for a while. My father, for example, who lives in Phoenix, he has a car. He does not drive it that much. So he's going to have his car, and I think he's had his car quite a few years. If you don't drive that much, because the average person puts 12 to 15,000 miles on their car a year. If you put 5,000 miles on your car a year, it's going to last you longer. So that is what I wanted to clear the air about the car. We bought a car during one of the worst times ever, and we didn't have a lot of time. We only had that rental for less than a week. So we had to kind of buy a car, and we were having trouble finding one. So that's to clear up the car. The next is appliances. I haven't gotten that many comments about that, but I've shared videos about my appliances. Between 2020 and 23, I basically had a bunch of appliances go kaput. I had a refrigerator that I needed to replace. I also had a dishwasher, my oven, and my 25-year-old Maytag washer. And of course, when I purchased these, because there weren't that many being manufactured, there weren't that many out there. There weren't a lot of choices. As a matter of fact, when we ordered was a dishwasher, and when we ordered a stove, they kept saying the manufacturers are backlogged. They didn't know when they could get it to us. We canceled our order with one company, we went with another company, and then we ended up getting it, right away. Did we get a great deal on these items? Not really, because there weren't that many choices. So imagine going to the store. Let's say you need a new stove, okay? And normally you have 25 choices. We had 2 choices, okay? So, you know what? That's kind of what happens. And we didn't get a phenomenal deal on these items. We bought between 2020 and 2023. Also during that time, I live in Dallas, Texas, or a suburb of Dallas, we had what we call Snowmageddon, okay? And that's when we didn't have power off and on for a week, which wreaked havoc on our appliances. And honestly, my stove worked really well before that, because when you've got your electricity going on and off, that can do damage to a lot of your appliances and equipment inside the house. So I wanted to explain that about appliances. Sometimes you don't have choices, which brings me to the heating and the air. I've had so many people on the channel say, why would you spend that much? That's ridiculous. You got robbed. You shouldn't have spent that much. Okay, let me just say one statement. If you need to replace, let's say you have central heating and air. If you need to replace it, do you think your central air is going to go out on you on a cold day or a cooler day? Do you think your heating is going to go out on a warmer day? No, it's going to pick the coldest. Your heating is going to go out on you on the coldest day of the year, and your air conditioning is going to go out on you on the hottest day of the year. It's Murphy's Law. Well, so what happened was when we needed an air conditioner, I don't have family, friends that can, or somebody that I know that can come do it cheaper. So that means I got to go with the regular company. I don't know anyone personally that I know and trust that can come, buy it for cost and install it for me. And when my air conditioner went out, this was, 5 years ago. When that went out, other people were needing air conditioners too. We had one choice for an air conditioner, and we had to wait for them to bring it to us because there were several other people that were needing it, and their air conditioning was going out because it was over 100 degrees outside. So it was pretty miserable because it was over 100 degrees in the house, but we just had one choice and one choice only. Then with our heater, it was during one of the coldest days of the year, for Texas that is, and I couldn't even find a company to come out here to look at it. And I had to call around because the other companies that I was calling was going to be 3 days or so, and I called on a Thursday and they said we can't even get out there till Monday or Tuesday. We are backlogged, okay? I finally found a company that came out, and there were 2 choices, I think, of heaters because they were putting a lot of heaters out. And so, when you buy these things, they kind of get you when you purchase them during the coldest or hottest day of the year. You don't have family or friends that can do this for you and pay them at cost. And so you go with these other companies, and you don't have a lot of time to do a lot of research when you're really, really hot or you're really, really cold. So I'm just kind of sharing that. The good news is all this stuff is paid for. And, I'm just kind of wanting to explain a couple of these things with the heating and the air. And speaking of the air conditioning, I do want to also tell you this. I've had several of you say, hey, your air conditioner's loud. It definitely is, and I'm going to tell you what I am going to do about it. I know it might get annoying. I thought my voice would go above the whistling sound. The reason why it is because I don't have a door on there. If I had my door on there, it wouldn't be, but if I put a door on there, it's hard to get in and change the filter. So on days that I have the air conditioning going, which it will be this summer, I'm probably going to film in my bedroom because you can't hear it in there. And so I'll probably switch to a different place in the house where you won't hear it. So that's what I'll do. So I wanted to explain some of these things because I do get comments about why did you spend so much? You really got gypped and things like that. Sometimes we have to make decisions and we don't have a lot of time is not on our side. We don't have a lot of choices, and sometimes we just make the best choice we can. The good news is I'm not in debt for any of this stuff. So let me know what you guys think. If you want to make a comment, go for it. And going forward, like I said, I will work on trying to find a place where I can go where you don't hear the whistling and the loud sound. I'll do my very best. So just wanted to clear the air on a few things. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And like always, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.